47 of Speak on It, the Andre Karolinko episode for
Here we
those
go.
Utah Jazz fans out there, all three of you, the John Lynch
Nah.
episode.
Don't do my Utahians, my Utah folks out here. I'm gonna give some love to the Utah folks.
All three of y'all out there, congratulations. There's one more person who wore 47 that I forgot about. It's John Lynch, Mel Blunt, the Mel Blunt
Mel
episode.
Blunt. It's a good one.
I'm your host in the ocean, as always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. How you living, baby?
Hey man, you already know when you see this. What used to be a good old fashioned Nas fade, it could only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. Yes, people, I'm still in pain about the Packers, but I'm here to talk NFL football a little bit today because that's the world that we live in. And it's okay because, well, some crazy shit's going on in the NFL, which has kind of helped numb the pain of losing a winnable game.
Oh yeah, the spotlight is definitely no one. And then this is like I'm not trying to take a dig at you or anything, but like no one's thinking about the Packers anymore. Like that's a good thing, right? Like no one's talking about Aaron Rodgers. Like he can go on Pat McAfee right now and say he killed 3 people. Like nobody would care because these NFL streets are on hallelujah fire, as my mother would say.
Well, I just think that the NFL can't go 0 days without being unnecessarily dramatic. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
fair.
Like it's always got to be something. And sometimes even when it's nothing, you know it's something because somebody on the low scheming. I don't know, man.
Yeah, because there's yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk about it. There's a lot of scheming apparently going on. So much scheming that someone getting sued.
Hmm. Let me give a rundown of what we're talking about today. So we're gonna start off, obviously, people talking about the damn conference championships, uh, the Bengals versus the Chiefs, Niners versus the Rams. We're gonna talk about the outcome of that game. We're gonna talk about if that was a Chiefs collapse or if the Bengals are one of them ones. Then we're gonna look ahead at the Super Bowl matchup between the Bengals and the Rams. Then we got to talk about him. We got to talk about him, the GOAT. Some say Tom Brady has retired after 22 years in the NFL. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Brian Flores, who decided to sue the NFL right before we got on air. So we got to get into that. But let's start off in the NFL, to stay in the NFL, I guess. So the conference championship filled with, again, another weekend of close matchups. This has been a whole playoffs of really, really close matchups. I should tell you about the talent gap in the NFL right now. Anyway, the Bengals edged out the Chiefs, and the Rams edged out the Niners. Danny, gotta ask, between the AFC and the NFC conference championship games, which matchup results surprised you the most?
Oh, come on. It's got to be the Bengals. The Bengals were down 21-3 at one point, 21-10 at half, and then just came absolutely roaring back. I saw something real interesting on Twitter. It's like it took Patrick Mahomes 13 seconds to drive down the field for the game tying field goal against the Bills, and it took him 13 seconds in overtime against the Bengals to choke the game away and throw an interception. I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, we said it last week. Joe Burrow's that dude. Like there's
He
something
is
about Joe
that dude.
Burrow.
He is that
He's
dude.
that dude. He's the one. And it's sad that he has to play in Cincinnati,
Nah,
but
I ain't gonna let you throw. Hey, yo, shout out to my man Sam Coleman, who won one of my fantasy leagues. He beat me to do it, but he's a Cincinnati Bengals fan who, in no way, shape, or form, ever thought he was ever going to see this day. Can't hate on him.
you know what? You're right because as an Eagles fan who never won a championship, this was a very exciting time 4 years ago, and I snuck it in again. I'm gonna keep doing it until I can find a way not to. But it's a very exciting time when your team is on the verge of a championship, especially when you're not supposed to be there. You weren't the favorites to be there, even though the Eagles were the 1 seed that year. Like the Bengals, every game has been on the road, and they've won every single game on the road, and they won every. No, they played Pittsburgh at
The
home.
last two have been on the road.
Yeah, they played Pittsburgh at home. Yeah, and they've taken out the 1 seed, and now they've taken out Patrick Mahomes, which is quite impressive.
And let's
Again,
not forget they took out Derek Carr.
they took out Derek Carr. That's not as impressive as taking out Patrick Mahomes and then the number one seeded Titans. But yeah, I mean, you get some credit for taking out Derek Carr.
I guess I don't know. I guess my answer would have to be the Chiefs as well. I mean, not the Chiefs, the Bengals as well. I mean, I think most people know it's hard to beat a good team 3 times in a season. So I think the Rams beating the Niners is maybe a little bit more seen because matchup wise, when the Rams come to play and they're at their best, which obviously wasn't. I don't think it's like the fourth quarter of that game that they wanted to start playing like the LA Rams. So you can see when they actually start playing like themselves how talented of a team they are on both sides of the ball. But obviously, I mean, you would think as the Niners. I mean, I don't know why people aren't talking about the Niners choking it up the same way they're talking about the Chiefs. Both teams had maybe a touchdown-esque lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only talking about the Chiefs. It's funny to you, boy.
Well, one, right, like Mahomes, again, we thought, well, I mean, Mahomes is that guy, though. Let's not go crazy, but I don't know, man. Like, something about these Bengals, I'm kind of at a loss for words about how impressive it was to be down 21-3 in Arrowhead, and then you come out and win the game in overtime. Like, that's one of the most impressive wins I have ever seen in my life.
It's a 60-minute game. Chiefs only played for 30.
Yeah, like for real. Like that halftime debacle, that brain fart that Patrick Mahomes had, like they never recovered from it, which is kind of fascinating. Especially again, they were at home.
Now, last week, do you remember a distinct conversation we had just while we're on this talking about this game? Do you remember a distinct conversation we had about overtime and why overtime rules should not be changed? And what was the basis of what we were getting at?
We said that the defense needs to make a stop and give their offense a chance to win the game because defensive players get paid as well.
Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Shout out to the Cincinnati. Yo, have you seen Eli Apple's like heel turn on social media?
I know he's went Hollywood Hulk Hogan-esque. Went Stone Cold Steve Austin heel turn, which people, for all my non-wrestling fans out there, let me tell you something. Heel Stone Cold Steve Austin was hilarious. He was hilarious. But I'll give another hot take. I think most people's funniest bars comes when they are a heel.
Oh yeah, like when I think being a heel over a face. Like look at Roman Reigns, and we're gonna talk about wrestling later. But I think Roman Reigns, like as a heel, is a lot better than Roman Reigns as a face. Same with like any good wrestler, right? Like Seth Rollins is better as a heel. Sasha Banks is better as a heel.
Chris Jericho, CM
Punk,
Edge, Randy Orton.
Even that short run when The Rock was wearing leather vest and he was a heel and he was playing his guitar, like that's classic.
That's funny. Triple H has some of the best heel turns. Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair, which I still think it's funny that so many people use that meme whenever they're talking about putting people out of retirement. But like any real wrestling fan saw that storyline a mile away. You could have diagnosed that one up.
What was the WrestleMania match? Was it Michael's match against the Undertaker? Like he comes out in a white leather suit and like the Undertaker comes out.
That might have been WrestleMania 25. Now that was a damn good movie. I mean,
it was like God versus the Devil. Oh my God! And Satan
Michaels, I think he may have came down from the top or something like that.
Something like that. I just know Undertaker beat his ass.
Hey, that was a great match. Hey, now don't disrespect WrestleMania 25. That was a 25th anniversary. That was a really good one. Yeah, that was. We take some of those. Those were like towards the glory end of the Undertaker's heyday. That's when he was out of his prime, and after that he started doing the 1-year WrestleMania matches.
Oh, God, I'm so glad those are over. Like that man is 57 with a pacemaker. Like go sit down.
So back to the Chiefs and the Bengals. So would you call it a Chiefs collapse or the Bengals them dudes?
So I'm a firm believer in giving credit to the winner instead of faulting the loser. And I will do the same here, but we cannot understate how Patrick Mahomes was different after that, the end of the second quarter, like when he threw it to Hill in the flat instead of just throwing it away. And also, I know we're talking about Mahomes and his brain fog, but if you're Hill and you see that, like just smack the ball to the ground. Because you're 5 yards out, you have three people coming to you, smack the ball to the ground, incomplete, kick the field goal, and go inside. That needs to be on his radar too. Like he needs to know the situation as well.
Situational football is a beautiful thing when people know it.
Yeah. Like that would have never happened to Tom
Or
Aaron. No, I'm saying like that wouldn't happen to Aaron either.
it's hard for me to say his name now when you know your time's
Okay,
coming.
I'll say 12. It wouldn't happen to guys who
Nah,
were
that's still
12.
my goat. I'm gonna still rock him though. That's still my goat.
Okay.
I'm gonna still rock him. All
What about
right,
you?
so wait, say that again.
What about you? Like, do you think the Bengals won or
Oh,
the
about the
Chiefs?
Bengals. Oh yeah. So I am not on the side of giving winners credit
Okay.
because I like to call people out for losing. Hey man, last week it was here's why. Last week it was when things are grim, be the grim reaper. All this talk. A10, they know you gon' A10 man up. All the inside the NFL. I'm like, all right. They watching it too. They get paid too on the other side. I want to hear the inside the NFL talk now. It's not gonna be flipped the same. Unless they got Eli Apple. If Eli Apple is really out there talking, it might be like hilarious.
I just imagine Eli talking trash to T.Y. Hilton. Like, did you see him on Twitter? Like he
Oh
said,
my
we
god.
smoking that cheetah pack.
The cheetah pack. They was like, yo, hit my phone. I was like, yo, what is going on? Yo, no, nah, when people say hit my phone, what am I gonna do calling? What is this phone call gonna be like?
He's saying he don't do that Twitter beef. He don't do it for the public. He don't do it in front of people. If you got a
Okay.
problem, call me. He very old school.
Okay. So here's my thing with that. I think Eli Apple know that Tyreek Hill is a killer.
Yes.
I don't think he want to go barking up that tree.
No.
But his team did beat your team.
Twice.
At home and away.
At home and away. When it mattered the most. Down 21-3. Like you can't like that is that's why I give the credit to the Chiefs. You were down 21-3. I thought that game was over. Like I went and started prepping dinner.
What'd you
By
make?
the way, what did I make Sunday night? Oh, we had steak tacos. So what I did was I got some skirt steak. Oh, it was delicious. A little bit of lime.
Okay.
It was tender.
That game was
Medium
out of
rare.
hand, huh? You ain't never
Yeah, like I was
you
like, oh,
thought
let
we
me
was
go just go ahead.
spending congratulating Joe Burrow on a good season.
Yeah, like hey, you made it to the AFC Championship. You ahead of schedule, and now he's in the Super Bowl. Like if he wins the Super Bowl, he would be the only human being on this earth to win a Heisman, a national championship, and a Super Bowl, and he'll probably win Super Bowl MVP. And this run has been 3 years. Like that's Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, like we can go there. He Hall of Fame. First, throw him in there, first ballot.
I mean, he would have a strong case if you did win the Super Bowl. He would have a strong case for a Hall of Fame resume very early. It would be very similar to Giannis's Hall of Fame resume at a very early NBA age in
Yes,
a way.
because Giannis is a Hall of Famer and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Because I think Giannis doesn't get the respect he deserves. He's a first ballot Hall of
I
Famer.
mean, he's earning it. I mean, it's hard not to respect you. I mean, if you watch the Bucks play, which you're doing now, they're getting more prime time. If you watch the Bucks play, I mean, he's an impact player. You see why
Yes,
he's a Finals MVP. You see why he's got the accolades. He's won almost every award except what's the one he hasn't? Is it most? Did he win Most Improved Player? I think
I'm
he may
pretty
have.
sure he's won Most Improved, 2 MVPs. He's won
Maybe
Defensive
a
Player of the
comeback
Year.
player.
Yeah, he's never won Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah, or Sixth Man of the Year, obviously.
Yeah, he'll never win that.
So I think, I mean, so I think Joe Burrow, I mean, similar to how Giannis has already staked his claim as a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think with a Super Bowl ring, I mean, Joe Burrow
Like
could
this is
he
low
could be
key
big.
still like what's his face? What week did he get hurt last year? He tore his ACL last year. They only won 4 games last year, and now he's in the Super Bowl. Like when we talk about elite quarterback play and how important that is, look no further than Joe Burrow. Like look
Mhm.
no further than the 49ers. Like if the
Well,
49ers
they
had Joe
also,
Burrow,
well, they both have good number one receivers, but you have to think about the impact Jamar Chase had and
yes.
the dynamicism that adds to the offense that played a role. Especially, yo, could you believe people thought he couldn't catch because he made the one tweet about the stripes on the ball?
Dog.
Guys, really?
Bring out the Chamar Chase slander so we can tar and feather you out of the city.
No, not tar and feather. Yo, humans really did some interesting things in the course of history. Some things
Yes.
that you just look back on and you're just like, yo, what?
For me, it's like especially if you like read the Bible, like people being stoned to death. So you tell me I gotta stand there while dudes throw rocks at me until I die. Man, get out of here. I'll just walk away. Like, what you gonna do? You ain't got no
Man,
pistol.
man. Yo, did you hear this? And this is kind of some breaking news, so we can maybe dive
Okay.
into it if we want to. Some sources say that Jim Harbaugh plans to sign with the Minnesota Vikings.
Why? For what? What the hell is in Minnesota? I mean, you got Dalvin Cook, you got Justin Jefferson. Cool. You got an okay defense, and you got Kirk Cousins. What are we doing here?
I, are we, man? Is this?
Like, he's a made man in Michigan, and he gonna leave all that to go play for. I mean, to go coach the Vikings. That's not. That doesn't seem like a
Oh
good move to
man!
me, Bob.
Oh man!
Is it official?
I mean, I see a couple reports saying he does plan to sign with them. The report said it's a done deal. Where do you think?
Dog, you
Where
know
do you
what
think
that?
this? Where do you think this would put the Vikings?
Nowhere. The same spot they in now.
It's the same type of head coach too. Defensive minded, wants to run the football.
Will throw his players under the bus in front of everybody. Will piss management off. Like Jim Harbaugh has a shelf life. Like we read the San Francisco pieces. Like he pissed ownership off. He got on everybody's nerves, and they said, "All right, dog, you got to go." Like that works in college. You can go to Michigan and be a douchebag and mean to people because the athletes have no power. But there's only so many times you're gonna sass Justin Jefferson before he say something back to you.
Yeah, especially from where they from, they ain't gonna be with that bull.
Dog.
Mm.
Back to Harbaugh. Do you think after this Brian Flores thing broke, Roger got on the phone and said, "Look, somebody about to hire somebody within the next hour and a half." And
Are
if
you
they
talking about
black,
that? You
great.
talking about the offset? Man, they probably went in there and was like, all right, which is the lesser two evils, a black dude or Jim Harbaugh? That's what they basically said.
Yeah, we got to roll the dice, man. This is break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah. Um. Someone also said, okay, yo, what do you think of potential new names for the Washington football team?
I really like the Washington Generals. Like I don't know why that appeals to me, but the Washington Commanders sounds kind of like GI Joe-ish. Like it kind of sounds like the enemies in Small Soldiers, like in the Small Soldiers reboot. Like, oh, it's the Commandos and it sounds kind of corny, but they're a corny franchise, so like it fits.
So there's reports out there in the Twitter sphere, and this could all be speculation, but there's reports out there that the name could be the Washington Commanders.
Nothing.
That's not moving you. That's not putting fear in your heart as an Eagles fan.
No. Oh
They
no,
gonna
we
they,
gotta go
they
play
gonna
the
they gonna beat y'all.
Commanders.
They're gonna beat y'all by 4 points. Second game.
We gotta be. We gotta go play the Commanders. Oh, like no, don't anybody say that.
So back to our Super Bowl talk. Who do you think wins it all? Who do you think comes home with this ring? Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow?
I
Zach
think
Taylor or Kyle Shanahan? I mean, or Sean McVay. Excuse me.
I am going to. We'll get into scores and stuff next week, but my gut right now is telling me that the Bengals' offensive line is not that good. Like the Chiefs don't have the kind of the weapons, the animals that the Rams have. Like they're gonna have to block Von Miller, Aaron Donald. I forget the other guy's name. Of course, I. What's the? It's not Leonard Williams, is it? Who's the guy on the other side? I, I'll look it up. Is research
Um,
value here?
I don't know if research is here.
Let me see. I just know the Rams. Leonard Floyd. There it is. My bad.
Leonard
Yeah.
Floyd. Yeah. How do you forget about him?
My bad. Like that was a brain fart on me, Leonard. That's on me. But like this Rams defensive line is going to wreak havoc. Like if Joe wins this game with the Rams with that defensive line, oh yeah, he'd won. Tom can never come back. Tom, the league is safe. Joe Burrow got you.
See, my gut is also telling me the Rams. I think I think I'm gonna go Bengals right now. I think what's going to happen is this is going to be a true test of which wide receiving core can make the necessary plays for their quarterback. I think it's safe to assume that Cooper Kupp, I mean, putting together the greatest season in wide receiver history, arguably, you're going to have to double team him. Well, now you got Odell Beckham Jr., who you're going to have to match, likely your second best corner with, who I think may be Eli Apple for the Bengals. So matching him up, likely more man on man. I mean that's dangerous. And then you still got Van Jefferson. Then you're going to still have potentially Cam Akers. I think that presents a challenge in itself from a Cincinnati defensive perspective. But from the Rams, I mean, from a Cincinnati defense perspective, but from a Cincinnati offensive perspective, you looking on the other side of a few killers.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, yeah, Jalen Ramsey. Man.
Oh no, Mike Evans cooked him in that Tampa Bay game.
He still get it done when you need to get it done, though.
I know, I'm just kidding. Jalen Ramsey's a beast.
Yeah, man. That's a tough one. I'm going with the Bengals right now. That's where my gut's telling me. I think Joe Burrow's gonna have to pull something down. And I think it's gonna start with the underneath game and the quick game to Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. I think once you start establishing that, you start forcing them having to bring them safeties down. Okay, you're gonna get your one-on-one shots. Who's gonna win it?
Jamar versus Jalen, that'll be fun. And we forgot about Joe Mixon.
Exactly.
Joe Mixon.
What about you? Who do you think you are you going Rams for sure? Early?
Right now, I'm going with the Rams. I love good defensive line play.
It's going to be a home game for the Rams, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a home second year in a row. That's crazy. It never happened, and it happened to Tampa Bay last year, and it happens to the Rams this year.
You know what I'm smelling? I ain't gonna say it.
You smelling a conspiracy?
I think
we got to get some sound effects. Like, there's got to be a conspiracy button that we push.
Something's going on in that league.
Well, where's the Super Bowl next year? That'll let us know if there's a conspiracy going on.
Is it in Vegas?
I think so. It is. It's in Arizona. That could also host a home Super Bowl.
A Cardinals redemption story? Okay.
I think 2024 is Vegas, right?
Yeah. Or maybe that's when they host the draft.
Let's see. Yeah, 2024 is Vegas. You don't have to worry about the Raiders being there because Josh McDaniels is the coach.
We're gonna talk about that actually in a few minutes. One last football-related thing. I think most people watching this have probably already heard the news. If you haven't heard the news, I just don't know where the hell you've been. But after 20 years, Tom Brady, to some, he is called the greatest football player ever. To some, he is called the greatest quarterback ever. He has retired after 22 years in the National Football League, 20 of which were spent the Patriots. Obviously, the last two have been with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, Danny, I think both of us can agree he's a for sure first ballot Hall of Famer, right? No
Yep.
argument there. All right. So when you think across the whole sports universe, think about the number of first ballot Hall of Famers. Where do you think this lands Tom Brady in that ranking?
So I think Tom is definitely in the top 10, maybe top 7. Like off the top of my head, we're talking about like greatest athletes ever in any sport, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so like for me, it's like Simone Biles. You got Serena. There's Tiger. You have Ali, Jordan. There's I'm a big Kareem fan. I think Kareem is the greatest basketball player of all time, but I can understand if someone says Jordan. Like, and those are just like 6 or 7 off the top of my head. And then there's probably Tom Brady. I mean, you got Rafael Nadal. Like, there are a lot of, especially people that play individual sports, because it's a lot easier for them to rack up championships because it's
Yeah.
just
Michael Phelps.
yeah, Michael Phelps. Like it's easier for them to dominate because it's all on them. So I think Brady's in the top 10, maybe top 7. You might can talk me out of Michael Phelps, but like the people I named in front of him, to me, are in front of Brady.
Yeah, I think I put Brady, I think, in my top 12. My top
Okay.
12. Because I start thinking about I have a lot of the same people you did. I would add in Floyd Mayweather. I would also add in LeBron James. I mean, I don't know if
You
you can.
good?
I mean, I think he's easily a for sure first ballot. Um, and then I start thinking of maybe like a George St. Pierre or a John Jones or
Yeah.
a Mighty Mouse. Some guys who really dominated their division. Amanda Nunes herself. Up until her last race, she had completely dominated the division. So I think he's in my top 12 or top 13 around that area. I mean, it's hard, it's hard because when you're talking about first ballot Hall of Famers, I mean, you got to think about the guys who are like all-time great players that for sure got in on their first time on the Hall of Fame ballot. Because those are, I mean, you're forgetting about maybe like the Derek Jeters of the world. I don't know if he was the
Yeah.
first. I mean, and but there's also guys who got screwed out of being first ballot because people wanted to be petty. Think about how
Terrell
many great
Owens.
players yeah. Antonio Brown's going to be one of them.
Yep.
Shoot,
Barry
Barry
Bonds.
Bonds. I mean, that's just people. I'm even me. I need people to understand how crazy this is. Me, someone who maybe doesn't know the most about baseball out of anyone that you would meet. I am familiar with how great an all-time Barry Bonds is, and that's with or without the steroids. So it's
Yep.
crazy to me to think that sports writers was petty and really kept him off when supposedly I heard that. Nah, never mind. I ain't gonna say it. I just can't believe they kept him off. It don't make a lot of sense to me. I know there's a lot of politics, just don't make a lot of sense to me.
I read a tweet that because David Ortiz got in, it was a tweet that if you take all of Barry Bonds's home runs and turn them into outs, he still has a higher on base percentage than David Ortiz, which is absolutely absurd. And I don't even watch baseball. But that's
I'm
absurd.
telling you, that guy Barry Bonds, like with or
That is
without whatever he
absurd.
was doing, I mean, like he was. Whew. What about Bo Jackson?
Bo Jackson, Dion. Oh, I don't know about Dion. Oh,
Nah,
Dion was so smooth,
he
right?
played two sports and he was damn good with both of them. Really, you got to consider. Was he first ballot? He had to have been.
Oh yeah, Dion. I'm sure Dion got in.
Ray
Like
Lewis
people.
was. Think about Ray Lewis was another first ballot. I mean, you start
Yeah.
thinking about the greats. I mean, to be considered a great middle linebacker in the NFL. Think about some of the names you have to. I mean, the names you're putting yourself with. Ray Lewis is among those names.
Yeah. I'm changing my. I'm with you. Top 10, closer to maybe I'll even put him in 12 because I
Yeah,
didn't even think about like mixed martial arts
yeah. But
or I forgot about Michael Phelps completely, which is again absurd.
now, when you think of, you also think about forget about Peyton Manning as well. We didn't think about.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll take Tom Brady over Peyton. Tom Brady ranks above Peyton.
so maybe if we shrunk it to just NFL, Do you
Okay.
think he's the greatest first ballot Hall of Famer? Because I would essentially make him the greatest football player ever.
Yeah, I think he's earned that.
Yeah.
I can. He's in the conversation. Like there are a lot of names escape me right now, but there are very few people who have dominated the way Tom Brady has dominated over the course. Like Tom Brady has dominance. He has the championships, he has the MVPs, and he has the longevity, right? Because you have the people like Terrell Davis who dominated for 3 or 4 years. No. Tom Brady did it for over 2 decades.
Yeah, you have to throw my man Terrell Davis on the bus. He
I'm
was
just
good.
like that's always the like because Terrell Davis to me is a Hall of Famer, even though it was only a short spurt. But like those 3 or 4 years, Terrell Davis was the best running back, and there was like no one close. Like the things he did is Hall of Fame
He's
worthy.
not in the Hall of Fame?
I think he is. I don't know. I think Terrell
Yeah.
Davis he has to be in the Hall of Fame.
I think John Elway probably. John Elway was like, yo, that's my man's. Put him in.
Yeah, Terrell Davis got in 2017.
Yeah, I knew he got in. Why did it take him so long, you think?
Okay, so I guess the argument for that would be, well, he was good, but he was only good for 3 or 4 years. Is that Hall of Fame worthy, right? Because some people really cherish longevity, right? Dominance over a long period of time means a lot more than
But in the NFL, as a running back, with the
yeah.
shortest lifespan of all, I don't know. They tell us one thing, but then they use that one thing against us when it comes to negotiations and politics. I see how it is.
So again, this is a sidebar, and we can move on. So if Terrell Davis got in for his 3 or 4 years of dominance, do you think Chris Johnson should get in? Because there was a time when Chris
Yeah.
Johnson was feasting on these people.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Why shouldn't he?
He was the last 2,000-yard rusher in the league, right?
No, I think Derrick Henry did it.
Oh, yeah, another Titan running back. You are correct.
Come on now. Can't
My
forget
bad
about
there.
Henry. Can't forget about him. All right. Let's do some quick hitters. See what we feeling and what we want to speak on. So it's been a week when it comes to the NFL coaching hires.
Mm-hmm.
First one, Josh McDaniels to the Raiders. Thoughts?
How does this man? And we'll talk more about that. Like we're going to talk about Brian Flores, and I just got something on my chest. Every time I see Josh McDaniels' name, I just get enraged because just. We'll talk about it more when we talk about Brian Flores. But how does this man have an NFL head coaching job after that stunt he
Yo,
pulled?
I knew it was funny for my man Josh McDaniels when I saw Patriots fans cheering that he was leaving. They said
Yeah.
they wanted someone else at the helm. He was that bad. So Raiders fans, yeah, I should have kept Rich because I thought he was a pretty good coach given the circumstances. And hey, Josh, keep that seat warm because Gruden's making a comeback there, buddy. All right. Last week. No, let's keep it on. Let's keep it on football. Let's keep it on football. Caleb Williams. He was quarterback at Oklahoma last year. Took over for Spencer Rattler when he was playing shaky. He followed his college coach Lincoln Riley to USC. What are your thoughts on that?
Smart kid.
Smart
He
kid.
said, either I stay in Oklahoma, go to the SEC, get fed to Georgia or Bama, and my draft stock plummets, or I could go to the Pac-12. My toughest game is Utah in Notre Dame, and I can be a first-round pick. That's easy money. He was just waiting to see how much
Nah,
money.
you got they're gonna play Oregon at least once every couple
Yeah.
of years.
Well, they're not in the same division, are they? I think
Yeah, but
they would only play
they don't do
Oregon.
cross division games.
I don't think so. I think they'd only play Oregon if they made it to the conference championship game. Let me see. I might be wrong.
Well, they play some cross divisional games, or maybe that's just the SEC.
Well, they play Oregon State. Yeah, they play Oregon. No, that's basketball. I'm talking about football, man. You see who they play in 2022. Let's see. So they're at Oregon State. Yeah, they don't play Oregon next year. They would play Oregon in the in the conference championship. So your toughest game is Utah.
Pac-12 champions, though.
Yeah, I mean, you have a shot at the Pac-12 championship every year. Like, why wouldn't you do that? And you get to live in California.
No, I was
Who
saying Utah was the Pac-12 champions last year.
Yeah, I'm saying that's so instead of playing, the SEC, you got 5 or 6 tough games. You only got 2: Utah and Notre Dame, and then Oregon in a Pac-12 championship game if it got that far.
How do you think Lincoln Riley goes to the championship game in his first year? Pac-12
No.
championship game.
No.
Either. It's hard to win. The Pac-12 is better than people want to give it credit for. Oregon just had a nasty fall off.
And USC is losing a lot of talent. Like, they have a few receivers that are going to the league. Like, he's going to have to restock the cupboard. But he has the quarterback. That's the hardest part.
A good quarterback, no matter what level of football, will save you. Speaking of quarterbacks and speaking of the NFL, right before we came on air, we learned that Brian Flores is suing the NFL. What are your thoughts? And does he win this shit?
So I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent because this one hit me in my soul. Does he win? Bill Belichick has made sure that he wins that case. Like, that text is really like, if that's the evidence they release to the public, I'd hate to see the evidence they kept it close to the chest. The thing about the Brian Flores thing that's so frustrating is, like, every person of color knows exactly what Brian Flores is feeling right now because we've all been in that situation, right? Like, that story about John Elway coming in shit-faced to a meeting, and the fact that Brian Flores couldn't raise up and leave because if he had done that, he probably would never get another interview. It's just a reflection of society as a whole. Like, we're two young Black professionals. I know that feeling. It's a feeling of being less than. It's mocking your humanity, and there's nothing you can do because you have to go through the motions, because if you don't, you'll never get a seat at that table again. Meanwhile, on a parallel track, Josh McDaniels can accept the job in Indianapolis, renege, get his old job back in New England, and still be considered for head coaching jobs, right? Like, when you hear Black people talk about systemic racism and, like, the good old boys club, like, this is, look at Josh McDaniels, look at Brian Flores, and that's all you need to know.
You preaching now. You preaching. One was a head coach who went to a team and won with less. Another one reneged out of a job with less so he can do less with more.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfectly
Am I wrong?
No. Like, and I hope Brian, like, I hope he sues the league till they go bankrupt. I mean, which will never happen because they're 32
They ain't
billion.
gonna do that. They'll hold some. They'll make sure some things keep going to court before they do that.
But the most frustrating thing about this whole thing is Brian Flores will never be a head coach in the NFL again. And if history has taught us anything, that the price of moving this country forward on a racial standpoint has to come with a sacrificial lamb, some sort of sacrifice. And Brian Flores in this case is going to be that sacrifice, which is sad because he's a damn good coach and he deserves another opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL, but he'll never get it after this. Like, he has sacrificed his career. And you can say the same thing about Colin Kaepernick. Like, Colin still deserves to play. I'd still take Colin over Mac Jones, but he was the sacrificial lamb to move.
So you really don't think Brian Flores is going to get another job in the NFL ever?
Dog, you don't sue a bunch of billionaires and get welcomed back with open arms. That's not how this game is played. I'd be shocked. Like, you want to piss off, was it 31 billionaire white men? Like, when has that ever worked in someone's favor? They have too much power. Like, he'll never coach again.
I didn't even think about that. Man, that's wild, because I was really on Brian Flores' side. I still am. I think there's a lot of honor and value in what he's doing. And to your point, I mean, this is the difference of realities that we live in. Damn, I did not think about the fact that he likely won't coach again in the NFL, which is a shame because he's a damn good coach unless someone makes him a coordinator again.
I don't even think he gets that. Like, I think he's done. That's a wrap. No owner is going to be like, oh, yeah, you just sued me. Come on in. Take my defensive coordinator job. Nah, dog. He's done. That's a wrap. And for the record, I believe everything he said in that lawsuit. I think John Elway walked in that joint shit-faced. Even though
No.
John Elway always looks drunk to me. I don't know what it is. He looked drunk all the time.
So now my question is, what the hell did John Elway have to drink about?
So I guess Brian Flores is trying to say that John and them arrived an hour late to his interview hungover. Like they did not take him seriously because I'm assuming in their mind they had already decided to hire Vic Fangio and Flores was there for the Rooney Rule, just like with the Giants, right? Bill Belichick dry snitching on himself. Like they had already decided to hire Dabo, which is proof by the text, which was before Brian Flores' interview. So they were just interviewing Flores for the Rooney Rule. Like the Giants were going to hire Dabo regardless.
Oh, yeah, they got a nasty lawsuit on their hands because that would directly imply that the Rooney Rule is being broken.
Yes, and we've known it's been broken, but there's no proof that it's been broken, right? Like Belichick's text proves what we've known for years, right? That they just make a mockery of it. Like they go hire the equipment manager, like, oh, well, we hired a black person. I mean, we interviewed someone black, so we're good to go. Like we know they've made a mockery of it. Now it's just in writing.
Do you think Bill Belichick pays the price in any of this?
You know what? I was thinking about that before we got on air and eating dinner while I was eating dinner. And at some point in time, he's been involved in every major scandal that the NFL has faced that's not related to domestic violence since 2000. It's cool when you win the Super Bowls with Tom Brady, but dog, at some point in time, he not gonna survive. You can only get shot so many times without falling over. Deflate gate,
Yo,
spike,
that is a
slide gate.
hilarious analogy.
Hey man, it's the truth though, right? Multiple teams have accused him of cheating. He's been caught cheating. He's lost draft picks for because of cheating. Like every major scandal that's not related to domestic violence, Bill Belichick's name is tied to it in some form or fashion. Like no one's that bulletproof. What's the thing? What's the big scandals? Yeah, well, not Bounty Gate. That was Sean Payton. You got deflate.
That was the
Deflate
big
Gate.
one, though. That was the big
Yeah,
one.
maybe I'm talking a bit of hyperbole, but Bill's name has been associated with too many negative scandals over the past 20 years.
Spygate, Deflategate.
I know I'm forgetting something. Oh, with the prostitutes, that was Robert Kraft. With the prostitutes in Florida.
Yo, leave Robert Kraft alone. He just want to make sure we all get a happy ending.
All right. What else we got, man? Do you have any thoughts on Brian Flores? I kind of went on like this spiel.
I think it's a damn shame, honestly. I think it's a sad reality that great coaches, even at the professional level, have to deal with. And if this is the professional level, you can only imagine how it's being done at the NCAA level or even in our local high school level. So I think, even when we think we're taking steps forward, we're clearly still right around where we thought we were in terms of black men in this country. It's just the same, especially since a lot of these damn white coaches. I ain't gonna say it.
In no universe should Adam Gase get 2 head coaching opportunities. Right? Like imagine if Brian Flores took the Raiders job and it was like, nah, I'm good. He would never get another interview again. He wouldn't even sniff an NFL head coaching job. Meanwhile, Josh McDaniels gets to do whatever he wants to do. And what has he done to prove that he's worthy of any of this, right? Like I think he's a fraud, and it's not going to take long to expose him again. He drafted Tim Tebow top 20. You don't deserve nothing.
That's still a hilarious draft pick.
Like you fell for that speech he made before they won the national championship.
He did win a playoff game, though.
All right, Skip Bayless. He won the playoff game.
He won a. Yo, is that not who thinks more of that moment? Tim Tebow or Broncos fans who thought they were just lucky to be there?
Oh, definitely Tim Tebow. Because the Broncos have won a Super Bowl since then. They don't care about Tim Tebow.
Boy, as soon as they got Peyton, they got Tim Tebow ass right the hell up out of here. So now
wouldn't you? Hey, dog. Hey, Tim.
They said we're not even dealing with you. You got to go.
You got to go, man. We can't have you here. We're going to have Brock Osweiler come in here.
Oh, my God. Speaking of Brock Osweiler, what did you think of the NBA All-Star starters? I think in the East, we got Trey, we got DeMar, we got KD, we got Giannis, we got Embiid. In the West, we got Jokic, LeBron, Steph, John Morant, and Andrew Wiggins.
So did I send you the SB Nation article about how Andrew Wiggins got in because of some K-pop group or someone like some famous person, like the Warriors work with some K-pop group or some famous Korean person, and that person tweeted to vote Andrew Wiggins, and that's what carried him over the finish line.
Yo, so no, this is not the same guy who was saying earlier that we got to give credit where it's due and not give fault when people are at blame.
No, that wasn't my point. Look, the All-Star game is about the fans. 50% of the votes come from fans. If the fans, no matter where they are in the world, if they voted for Andrew Wiggins and Andrew Wiggins is a starter, I don't want to take that moment from him. But you trying to tell me in a pickup game, he gonna be the last pick, right? It's a draft, right? He gonna be the last pick. You trying to tell me you want to take? I know, but they still draft the starters, right? And then they draft.
They gotta.
Or do they draft the reserves? Because I thought it was LeBron and KD are captains, and then they get to draft from the starters first, and then they draft the reserves. I could be wrong though.
I think that might be it.
He gonna be the last pick of the starters.
Nah.
Let me ask you before, because I don't think we're not going. We know Andrew Wiggins is not better than Devin Booker, Chris Paul. He's not better than Luka Doncic, even though I don't think Luka deserved to be a starter this year because he came in out of shape.
But it was the wing spot. You're naming guards.
Luka's a front court. Luka's a small forward. I mean, he's a power guard.
That is a point guard.
Jalen Brunson's the point guard. Tim Hardaway's a shooting guard. Luka's the small forward in the lineup.
Yeah, I gotta give a prayers up to my guy Tim Hardaway. I saw that injury.
Yeah, he broke his foot. Even though
didn't look like it.
But instead of focusing on Andrew Wiggins, I'm more excited for John Morant.
He is prime time. Honestly, I wouldn't make any changes. I think I think for a wing, which is what Wiggins is primarily, I think he fits the bill. Fans voted him. I'm in. Yeah. I mean, this is interesting times we're living in the NBA, right? With Andrew Wiggins being an all-star starter.
Let me.
I'm not laughing with you. I mean, at you, Andrew Wiggins. I'm laughing with you.
Oh, he's not laughing though. He's proud. So you are laughing.
You should be proud. Don't listen to me.
Proud. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Jokic or Embiid, who should win MVP this year?
Co-MVP.
No, you can't do that. You got to pick one. You don't know.
It's a coin flip. I might have to go Embiid.
That is the correct answer. It is Joel Embiid.
It's hard though, because Jokic is really, really good. Yo, this guy is insanely good.
Yes. Here's the thing about Jokic for me, though, that ruins it. It's these TI-83 stat nerds, and stats have their place in sports.
Not right? TI-83. TI-83 people.
Like, put the calculator down, watch the games. Like, Joel Embiid, his athleticism and the way he's dominating, to me, it's just a better brand of basketball than Jokic. And Jokic is a beast.
Makes everybody better.
Yes, he does. He's the best passing big man ever. But I'd still take Embiid.
I mean,
and that's no disrespect to Jokic.
I think it's very close.
It is very close.
We're splitting hairs. Honestly, if he was healthy, Bron would be in that discussion. Giannis is also in that discussion. Steph Curry before the shooting slump was also in that discussion. What about John Morant and DeMar DeRozan? They got to be in that discussion too.
Throw them in there. I'm with it.
Why not Devin Booker?
Yo, the Suns are getting no love, and I don't know why.
They're trying to fly the radar. They
which
don't
is
even
crazy.
You know the NBA ain't got the storylines when they're not even pushing the Chris Paul leadership.
They milked that joint to death in the finals. You can't come that well as dry. They milked that joint, and then he lost in the finals. Nah, that story's gone.
That was a 6-man. Okay. last night or Monday night or
Mhm.
Sunday night, excuse me. Brock Lesnar won the damn Royal Rumble. Now,
You can go first.
to my fellow wrestling fans, if this feels like a movie you've seen before, it's because it is. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania. Stop me if you heard that one before. I'm not hating Vince.
I
I get
am.
it. All I'm saying is there's a whole lot of these young bulls that I get it. You got to sell on your biggest day, but give me something. Tell me something. Tell me something.
Vince needs to stop wasting resources on Brock Lesnar and part timers. Brock Lesnar didn't need to win the Rumble to get Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and sell tickets. He could have lost, which he did. He lost to Bobby Lashley. Roman interfered. That is more than enough to give Brock Lesnar main event at WrestleMania or a championship match at WrestleMania. He does not need to win the Rumble. You have
Well,
AJ Styles. You have Big
it's also
E.
confusing. It's also confusing up the belts and the shows because I know SmackDown has one belt, Raw has the other, but when y'all
Mhm.
intermingling like that, now I'm confused because I don't know if y'all did a brand switch or if one guy's just invading. It's
It's
maybe I'm
and the
doing
same with
a lot.
and the same with Ronda Rousey, man. She don't need to win the women's. Like
Yo,
you got
okay.
Bianca Belair right there. She been carrying this division for a year. Nobody
Oh
wants to see
man,
Ronda
I'm
Rousey.
glad you brought that up,
Nobody.
Vince. We didn't learn from before.
Nope.
This ain't it, dog.
Like the storyline for Bianca to redeem herself from SummerSlam when Becky beat her in like 30 seconds was right there. Vince, it wrote itself. It was right there. And you would have sold just as much, if not more, than having Ronda come in and win in her rumble tumble fashion. Like when she in the ring, she looks, she don't know what the hell she doing.
She
She just
don't.
barrel roll and huff and puff until she win.
Yeah, I think Becky is fighting. She's going against Lita at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that's nostalgia. But the Bianca, it wrote itself. Sasha Banks came back. She was in the Sailor Moon joint. Like it writes itself,
Mhm.
man. The four
Yeah, we
horsewomen.
got to
We're not
start. We got
doing
to
it.
start mentioning Sasha Banks among the greatest of all time.
We can. And we're not here to lust
Oh
after
yeah,
Sasha.
we
Des. We're not
can.
D. We're not here to lust after Sasha Banks. She is a great wrestler.
She's
She
an
is one.
incredible wrestler and an incredible performer. I love her art.
There you go. Leave it
I
at that.
uh, what team or which team needs to make a move before the NBA trade deadline?
This is selfish, but it's
Oh
the
my
Mavericks.
gosh.
It's the Mavericks, man. And I don't know what movie make. Like the Mavericks are a step away.
I'm not about to come up here and say the Lakers because I know we're not doing
Okay,
it. You
okay,
just want to come up
fine,
here and lie.
fine. If there's one team that desperately needs to make a move, it's the New York Knicks. And it's not for contention. It's because Julius Randle about to start punching Thibodeau in the face. Like Julius Randle, like, he about to start a riot. He need to get out of New York. He about to start
Yo,
swinging on
yo,
Obi. He
no,
about to do something.
yo, you think he about to start like a whole revolution?
Dog. Like Randall is 2 practices away from turning into Latrell Sprewell. Like he's gonna have to do something to force his way out of New York because he is not happy. Whether
Oh man, yo, you think the New York lights and media is just too much for him?
I think he's taken a lot of that criticism personally. Like
Hmm.
last year, the whole city was in love with him. And like New York is a lot like Philadelphia, right? Like if you're doing great, you're the toast of the town. But if you're playing poorly, like you're gonna get not thrown in the gutter, but like people are gonna ridicule you. So I'm sure it's
It's
hard from
funny.
last. Say what?
I say, which is funny that people, as soon as you don't do well, people just nah, fuck you, and you
Yeah.
gotta just be like, what?
So I think it's the Knicks, and it's just to get Julius Randle out of town.
Where does he go?
I don't know, but you can get him for cheap if you need. Like if you need a. See, the thing about Julius is those jumpers that were falling last year just aren't falling. Like those mid-range jumpers, like they're not falling. So now what does he have? He has his left hand. People know that he really doesn't have a right. So people kind of like, he might get 20, but we're not really worried about him.
You'd be lucky if he does. He'll hit you with 17, 18, and then you're just
Yeah,
confused.
like no one's like fearing him anymore.
Where and you said you don't know where you'd have him going
I don't
in a
know. I don't know
potential
where
trade.
I'd put him. Like he'd be cool in Memphis. Like he got Memphis written all over him.
Think so?
I don't know. Like Memphis doesn't need to do anything, but I'm talking about from a culture standpoint. Like him and Ja, I mean, you're gonna have to give up Jaren Jackson if you want. You might actually, you might not. You can get Julius for the low.
You could just have to give him up for like a Desmond Bain sort of
Yeah,
player.
which if that's the case, all right, let's do it.
What do you think my answer will be? Because I know what my answer is.
You would say the Lakers, but you're not because you know the Lakers are in shambles.
They stink. Next,
Can you give me what conference they're in? Are they the East or West Coast?
I'll give you the answer instead.
Okay.
The Philadelphia 76ers have to figure this thing out.
Yes, they do.
They can't you can't keep playing with the masses like that. Look, Ben Simmons is not coming to work. You're going to get some second round picks more than likely, but you can get a lot of them. And there's some gems out there.
Like that Kings deal is as good as it's gonna get.
And you turn that one down? I don't know.
Like Buddy Healed, like dog. I don't know. Is there something we're missing on Buddy Healed? Because I feel like
Maybe.
Buddy Healed maybe. Because I don't know what they think they're going to get. Like I know Daryl Morey wants a superstar, but what superstar are you going to get for Ben Simmons when he hasn't played in a year? That's on the West Coast, like in the Western Conference. Because like no, you're not going to get Bradley Beal for him. The Wizards are going to make that deal. They're not going to give you Bradley Beal. You're in the same conference, so you got to go out west. So who's disgruntled out west? Dame Lillard had surgery. He done for the year. Like what are you going to do?
Dame Lillard doesn't want to go either, they said.
Dame, listen, we've talked
Say
about
he's not
this.
running from the grind.
He done ran himself from the grind until he needed surgery. He ain't stupid.
Okay.
Dame, leave. There's no shame.
Rihanna is pregnant.
I have never seen the timeline in shambles like
Yo,
it.
there was grown ups talking about some. I can't believe this. Why would she choose a man like him? This is not what I wanted for us, Riri. And I was just like, wait a minute. Who the fuck is some? Who is your Riri? She don't know you.
She don't know you.
To you dudes out here who was like, oh man, that was supposed to be me, or man, he misspelled my name. No, they didn't, fam. You at home with whoever you at home with because that's who you at home with. Stop lying to the people. And
You
don't
had
lie
no
to her
shot.
either.
But Rihanna's one of those, right? Like how do I say this?
I
Right? Like
mean,
there's beauty and then there's transcendent beauty. And like Rihanna is
she fine.
transcendent.
She
No, 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 no,
fine.
no. No, 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 no. She is finer than fine.
She top notch, elite.
She is first. She is Tom Brady elite.
Hey, ASAP came with yo. Did you see? Have you seen this clip from ASAP at this conference saying in spoken word like a whole verse?
No.
Oh man, you got to see this clip.
Send it to me.
It it had me like dying laughing because like I was just like, yeah, I see how he finessed his way and got
Oh
some Rihanna.
yeah, I can absolutely see that. Have you seen ASAP Rocky and Travis Scott in the same room? My wife and I had this conversation yesterday.
Um, now that I
And
think about it,
neither have I. But this baby would not be possible if it weren't for President Donald Trump. Get home
oh,
ASAP, ASAP.
Oh
One of the
man.
best tweets in the history of
Yo,
Twitter.
40, like I said, 45 was easily the funniest president we have ever seen.
Like that doesn't excuse the racism at all. Like those, I don't want to make it light of that, but get home ASAP, ASAP. Like they said the doctor said they've never seen COVID the way my body fought COVID. It wasn't DNA, it was US.
It wasn't DNA, it was USA. Yo, no, no, yo. If Big T was around here, some of this shit that Biden is doing would not fly if Big T was around here. Yo, y'all better watch out. Big T, he might get the re-election. Then we
No,
really
we
gonna be
not we
talking.
not calling that man Big T on here. We he does not get that.
Big T might get the re-election. Y'all quit playing. Biden keep playing. Biden,
Yeah,
mess around and don't forgive
yeah.
them student loans.
His 2024 speech is rally the Klan. That's his
Oh
platform.
man. Yo, when he get back into that mode, when he get back into that mode, he is gonna be on one. He is
He
gonna.
said, "Turn off the lights. Turn off."
Yo, we're talking about the same president who was shooting toilet papers like free throws to people. Like we gotta really digest the man that we are speaking of. Man,
People
that
had lost everything, and he like, "Oh, you get some toilet
you get some trumpet the line, yo. I mean, like,
People had lost their homes and
no
everything.
man.
He out there shooting freak throws with toilet.
Yeah, he said this hurricane is gonna be wetter than we've ever seen wet before. Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on. And this is before you get into the clips of him tripping on some journalist or something. Yo, he
Those
be quick
people.
to cut someone off too. Yo, no, we have to really digest the man that 46 was. This was a wild dude.
Oh man, he fed the university. He fed them. Was it Alabama or Clemson McDonald's? It
It
was
was
Clemson.
Clemson. He fed them McDonald's. Yo,
And
he told
Dabo was in there
Iraq.
just
He told
smiling.
Iraq, we will go to World War III with y'all. Y'all do not want the fucking smoke. Like, we have to really digest the person that he was.
Yo, can you
People, when
imagine?
like that Big T re-election might be something serious. Let Biden not mess around and forgive them student loans. Man, everyone
Yo,
will get him about
can
it.
you
Biden,
imagine?
that's a plan.
Yeah, for real. Run me my student loan forgiveness, dog. But yo, can you imagine a White House staffer like calling a McDonald's 2 blocks down like, yo, can I get 45 Big Macs,
Man, we
30
gonna
double quarter pounders?
We're gonna need about 50 Big Macs. We're gonna need 50 double quarter pounders with cheese. We're gonna need 50 cheeseburgers. We're gonna need 50 large fries, 50 sweet teas.
Oh,
Charge it
where's the
to
can you deliver? Oh yeah, where's it going to?
the
The White
White House.
House.
Now you gotta wonder, yo, did you even charge them? Man, they probably like, yo, who do we charge this to? Your local, your
Oh,
your local councilman can handle this. Man,
oh my God.
they don't be paying. Yeah, in the White House, they don't be paying for nothing.
Dog, can you imagine being a White House chef and someone rolling McDonald's through your kitchen to serve the people?
Chef Boyardee, you know me.
Oh my
Shit.
God, the disrespect.
They
Do
was
you have
man.
anything else? Oh my God.
Yo, nah, the more I think about it, people, Big T might mess around and get the re-elect.
Dog, we're not
People
calling him Big T. He is not a burger from Tasty Freeze. We're not calling that man Big T. He is the MAGA man, or
yo, wait till he get into his re-election bag and he start popping out with the quotables. We've never seen a president drop as many quotables as that man is. Wait till he get into his re-election bag. He gonna hit us with some quotables. That's gonna
I
just
forgot about the water is wet thing.
we gonna get some quotables. Yo, make sure you follow the pod at speakonit_pod on IG and Twitter. Follow your boy at Los D Mix. Biden, forgive them student loans, dog.
Today, for real though, run me my
Stop playing
student
with the
loan
American
forgiveness.
people. They starting to believe in you. I've been looking at the reports. They say the economy's been up last quarter.
I don't know. I drive a Honda Accord and it cost me $45 to fill my tank up last night. So I need some, dog.
You getting gas from the more expensive Wawa, probably.
No, I get gas from Costco.
Damn.
It's cold, man. It's a cold world. Find me on Twitter at MattAds14. That's it for us. We'll see you next week. Do you have like some spoken word for the people? Should we just peace out?
The hate that's in your heart, only love can end this. We don't want Big T up in here. Biden, give us that loan forgiveness.
That's we out. Peace.